we got to get into what I call carefrontation, which is we got to have the difficult conversations, but hopefully most of the time we can have them graciously. I have a lot of gracious ones, and sure, sometimes things get personal, sometimes things get difficult, and sometimes it doesn't go well, and that's called life. A book I highly recommend is called Crucial Conversations, and this book has sold millions of copies. In fact, it's become a big training company, Crucial Conversations. In Buffett Company, we have our own internal training department for our staff, run by a 23-year vet of Buffett called Cheryl Wolfe. And Cheryl used to be the head of our coaching department, and now she runs this internal training division. She's actually brought the Crucial Conversation team in to do a training for our entire staff. And it's very, very important, especially in our coaching. And the coaches, oh boy, they are fantastic at these carefrontations where they really get to know the client they're coaching. They really get to know who they are and what motivates them. And when somebody's getting stuck or when somebody has a blind spot, they just are brilliant at bringing it to a conclusion and bringing it to light without tearing a person down or making them feel less. In fact, they kind of empower them. And that's why it's not a confrontation, it's a carefrontation. And that Crucial Conversations, if you struggle with confrontation, both the doing and the receiving, I highly recommend that Crucial Conversation book. It's been a game changer for our staff and especially our coaching staff. John Maxwell says conflict is like cancer. Early detection increases the possibility of a healthy outcome. Author Sylvester McNutt said, avoiding conflict is conflict. Sylvester McNutt said, avoiding conflict is conflict. And then another author, Dr. Friedman Schaub, said, conflict avoidance doesn't improve relationships. It creates a sense of resentment. And that's ultimately what the disease to please does. And so we don't want that. We want to live the good life, and resentment can't be a big part of the good life. It can be a momentary feeling, it can be a sense of things, but it just can't be something that sits with you. That is not the good life. So let's get into kind of the nuts and bolts here of what Mr. Buffett was saying, right? That the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Well, we've had thousands of people come and take a tour of Buffett Company in our headquarters and have come by the studio here. If you make an appointment, you're always welcome. And if you go into my office, what you'll see is I have this Warren Buffett quote hanging. I actually have it on a placard in front of my face because I have demands on my schedule that don't quit. For example, I might get 3,000 to 4,000 speaking requests a year. So for example, this particular year, I've had thousands of requests. I accepted one, which was the Entree Leadership Conference in Tennessee. That's the only non-Buffett Company event I'm doing this year. So that means our organization has to say no to thousands of people. Now, the good news is we have a speakers bureau and we have a faculty of phenomenal presenters at Buffett Company. You've met many of them, whether it's Bill Hampton on marketing and how to move the needle, whether it's Jamie Nowak on really how to do the fundamentals, or whether it's my brother Kevin Buffett on Real Strengths, Rachel Yeaman, you've heard her on a number of podcasts with Real Strengths, Dave McGee, the head of the coaching department, does a great job. So we do our best to have these great subject matter experts go out and do these presentations, but it means we have to say no to a lot of things. And here's why. Because the first subpoint is when a yes to one thing means something else can't happen. So when you say yes to something, it means something else can't happen. One of the reasons why companies, organizations, and governments especially become bloated with bureaucracy is that a new bill gets passed, a new law gets passed, a new initiative gets passed, and it's just dumped on top of the other one. And I really like to look as much as I can at saying, okay, we're going to do this new one thing. What one thing are we going to take away? And it's hard. It's hard because in a company, especially like we have 250 employees, it means somebody's been doing a job every day. That's the one thing you're probably going to take away. Now, you're probably going to replace it in such a way that that person's still working, but people find their identity in it. They find their comfort in it. So it's very hard to stop people doing what we always did. It's the same in your business. It's the same in everyone's business. So when you say yes to one thing, you got to be looking for something you've got to say no to that you're already saying yes to. Derek Sivers said, if it's not a hell yes, then it's a no. I mean, that's a pretty good concept. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Thanks for watching. If you want more tips on how to think, feel, and do better, check out these videos too. Oh, by the way, Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave us a like if you enjoyed the content.